I am the assist. Oh, you got your microphone, huh? That's good. That's good. I am the assist. Africans supporting strength, inspiration, and success together. Shout out to my dog, my sister, my co-host, Raw Cannon, Nick, the Queen, whole family. Shout out to the Cannons, my brother Mile. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Mark, man. I appreciate you pulling up on us like you be pulling up on us for the basketball, bro. I be needing that support, and I appreciate it, man. You know, that's how brothers supposed to pull up for each other, for the young boys. You know what I'm saying? Come through. We got basketball every Tuesday, Thursday. You know, Boys and Girls Club, 59th and Catherine. Yes, that's what it is. Southwest Philly, West Philly. If you can get there, you know, get transportation. We gonna put it together. We gonna make it a little. We about to give out some jerseys. So we about to get into a little bit of play. Young boys be down there playing. They gonna get beat up. Hopefully they shock me. But I think this gonna be a wake up call. So we got something real dope going on Saturday. You know, it's the beginning of some beautiful things in life in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? We have a guest. She's sitting on the sideline right now. I would like for her to take a seat, please. She said she was on the show before. And yo, on everything, every time I would see it, I was thinking somebody else. I'm serious. She was like, no, I was on the show. And I'm like, yo, I don't remember. So, all right, I wasn't on that show. I was, you know, out with the family, with my baby, Sakila. You know what I'm saying? Suhana. So, she said she was on the show. I didn't refute it. I just didn't remember. And when I seen it again, I didn't think. I was thinking somebody else completely. Seriously. But I didn't do that show. Carlita, you know, stood in on that show. You know, it was a really good show. I watched it. But she made sure I understood. Like, bro, you gonna stop acting like I wasn't on this show when I know I was on this show. But the thing about it is dope because she even cared. She could have like, it doesn't matter. I was on the show. We don't gotta talk about that. It could have been one of them Jones like, yeah, I was on there, but it wasn't nothing. But she was like, no, I was on the show. So I'm very proud of that. That means I have something that's of value. We do something that's very worthy. Have a lot of really dope people come on here that do a lot of the same things that I do. Everybody don't align all the way with me, but I definitely like to let people see other people's sides, their side. It might make sense, you know. They might explain it in a way when they on the show that make it make sense. I might change how I'm looking at a thing, you know. So this is a resource and re-entry show, owned, operated by folks who have spent time in prison, enslaved. Like I tell y'all about the custody level 1. Keep that in your mind. It's that deep. It's that serious. So this is a young lady who she ain't with none of that shit. It's like, no. The young boy in the charisma, you know, I ain't gonna go ham like I usually go in. My mouth can get, you know. But can you introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are so we can talk about this beautiful thing Saturday?
I'm Rikia.
Rikia,
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I work for an organization called Straight Ahead.
Can you move up a little bit? Because we need to make sure we get all the content.
All of it.
We need all of it. They got to hear this.
Speaking to the mic.
Yes, indeed, please.
Rikia.
There you
I
go.
work for Straight Ahead. I'm the survivor justice advocate. Organizing people in Philadelphia, specifically impacted people, those of us who have had the experience of loss or some type of violence ourselves, who are not with the shit. Yeah, organizing us around what healing, justice, safety, all of those things look like for us that does not involve police and prisons, because we won't get to healing, justice, safety, or any other positive thing, specifically in the Black community, if we think we won't do it through cops or jails. That's not real.
So what we are doing, so I do want to know a little bit about you before we get into what we do on Saturday. Can you give people, like, you know, a little bit of identity? I don't want to know your business. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to know the tea and all that. I'm talking about, like, the work that you do. Give us a little bit of background on the work that you do.
I mean, outside of what I just said?
Yes, a little bit more. Because you do other stuff. You do more stuff. You have done.
I mean, yeah. So that's, you know, essentially what I do for Straight Ahead. But I am, you know, an evolved human. So I really feel like my deepest passion is the work that I do with young people, youth advocate at heart at all times. So like outside of my actual job, I actually volunteer and do stuff in community with the young people. Again, and it's all from like a mentoring perspective, but really just wanting to uplift our people.
Right.
And I think that the way to do that is to reach back. I get irritated with this agenda to like demonize young folks. And so it's important for me to be a model of something different, but also to empower them. Because the bullshit is up against them, and we need to be honest about that, and give them the space to know that they are loved and they are important, and to speak on the issues and what support that they need. So that's my day job.
So what we doing on Saturday, like, I feel like it encompasses everything, all of that. You know what I'm saying? The work, because I feel like the work I do, wherever I'm doing the work at, is everything. You know, the target, well, not target, but the demographic may be young people, but it wind up, we talking about everything. The demographic might be returning citizens, but we wind up talking about everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel like wherever I'm doing the work with folks that's doing, like, it's really like everything. Right now, the thing that I love about what we're doing, because it's multifaceted, it has a lot of components to it, but just like you said, making young folks the real foundational, being able to add to the foundation. And if there is none, we can give them the tools to create it. We might have had all the tools, but we didn't create it. And now we can give young folks the information to be able to create a foundation for us. Because I feel like we got a lot of moving parts, but we don't really have no sturdy foundations. So people will be like, no, we got an organization that do X, Y, D. Yeah, you do. That's a moving part. That's not a foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like what we talk about with voting blocks, or more importantly, people having equity in these communities. You know what I'm saying? Owning homes and businesses and stuff like that. That's a foundation. That's not a move. An organization, for a variety of reasons, is a moving part. You know what I'm saying? From the turnover, the people that's going to be in and out of the organization, whether we can keep this organization funded, and so forth and so on. So that makes that a moving part.
Is anchored in it.
Right. So I feel like what we're doing is helping young folks be able to build foundation by having that intergenerational conversation, being able to be around all different type of folks in their community, because we find out a lot of young folks it's not a lot of connectivity in their community. They be from a place, they might go to one other place in that community, and it's like, do you know the people 3-4 blocks away? Not every community, because I go around spots like Christie, and it seems like all them young boys around there know each other, you know, from Cedar Ave all the way probably to Market, for real. Like, they seem like they just all know each other, and they young boys, and that's just one neighborhood. But I want to help our young people be able to build foundations where it's none, and strengthen the ones where it is some. And I feel like that's what we doing.
I just want to add to that, especially because I had a conversation yesterday while I was flyering for the event on Saturday, and I was talking to an older woman. She said she was like 66. She lived in the community for a long time, and she was like, y'all are trying to uplift the young people, but we here too, and we important, and we actually have like wisdom to partake on them. And so it made me think, like, you're talking about foundation, but that made me think about being a bridge, because like, I'm not old, but I'm not technically young. Because
I mean, we the age we at in this point in existence. So it's a part that you play. You know, is a thing. Like, age is not. I'm not gonna go off on a tangent, I promise y'all. But age is a stressor in a lot of societies. If you can look it up, and they're not like ancient societies and stuff like that. People don't know how old they are, because they don't put any emphasis on that. They just live life. They don't think about age or nothing. They just live their life. They don't think about midlife crises and what you got to have done by 35 and what you need to be doing at 50 and all these special birthdays that we enjoy and we celebrate. But for real, it's a stressor. it takes life away. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. So that is the thing about age. But we are in different places of experience in our communities or in these environments. So you have a role to play, and your role and mine is being conduits, being bridges. And that's what is the name of the convening? I love saying convene. I don't know. That's been my word for that's been my word for, I don't know why. I can say group. I can say circles, meetings. I don't know. This week convening is. I think you put it on the one of the documents, and that been my thing in all my conversations when I'm talking about people getting together. I'm like the convening that we're. So what is the name of the convening that we are posting and flyering for? Justice for who? When I hear that, I think immediately my people. I think black folk. Nothing else. I know y'all was waiting for black. No. No black and brown. Black. No black and brown. And I love. But I do. But my mom taught me something, and it has proven out my whole life. That's why I always tell the story. So, cleaning up across the street at James Wright's house. For real. I'm cleaning up at James Wright's house. My mom looks through the window, sees me sweeping carpet. Anybody who has ever cleaned and sweep carpet, that's not an easy task. That's not the joint you jump on when everybody is getting the chores to sweep the rug. You know what I'm saying? But I'm over there diligently. You know what I'm saying? Talking, having a good time. So my mom calls me. Boom, I go home, come up in the room. She says, I don't have a problem with you, helping your brother, your friend. She said my friend, and that's who you be with and everything. I don't have a problem with that. But when the last time you looked at your room? Do you know what that joint look like? You know what I'm saying? And I always tell people that story because when I read so much about all the different things that we have gone through as people of African descent in America, it makes me think that every time we get in these spaces and we feel like we have to acknowledge everybody else, us not acknowledging you as we talk about our harm does not mean anything about you. It's no disrespect. It's no anything that you had going on that was harm or all of that. It's no saying, oh, that doesn't matter because we're just talking about ours right now. That's not that. That's like your room is a mess and you're in somebody else's house is sweeping a rug. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. And I instantly understood that it didn't make sense. I was not upset. I still helped my friend, but I went and cleaned my room first. I went back across the street and helped them finish cleaning up, but I went and cleaned my room first. So that's how I feel about that when I say black folk. When I hear that name, justice for who, I hear black folk. So I need to make sure that we make this conversation is very, very robust. So what is the part you'll be playing in this? What do you be doing besides planning it and putting it together and all of that stuff? In the actual convening, what would you be doing?
Just moderating.
You just moderating?
Yeah.
So what we're doing is it's going to be a 5-person panel, correct? 6-person panel. The panel we will be a part of a larger circle. We will allow the panelists to ask questions that we have developed around.
The moderator going to ask
the moderator is going to ask the panelists the questions we have developed around. Give us a little bit of what the questions are developed around.
I guess I should have done that. So the entire name of the event is Justice for Who, and then there is like this framing. It's an assessment of our harm as we attempt to access our healing. And so the questions are around harm and what that means in the Black community, who was responsible for our harm, who benefits from our harm, how we participate in our own harm a lot of the times, and what it looks like to pull back from that. And then what healing looks like, how we get to that healing, what we define that healing to be, what access we actually have to that which we determine to be healing. And then a deeper dive into specifically restorative justice practices and transformative justice, which is that accountability piece that you love to talk about. Because restorative justice is really, I look at it like one-on-one, like it's situational, like it deals with individual cases, and allows harm to be addressed in those spaces, but transformative goes deeper into root causes, and actually placing that blame on the system, specifically around like we live in a capitalistic society.
Yes, we do, people.
That is benefiting from the two original harms being the theft of land and then the theft of labor. And exactly, they stole bodies and then they put those bodies to work, and the society that we are operating under is literally fueled by those two original harms. And then Black people, for every piece of life since then, have been told to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and figure out how to exist in this society and get ahead while somebody constantly pushing them back. And so when we talk about justice for who, specifically as it relates to how we are filling up prisons and jails, dying in the streets, and why the system is actually creating those circumstances and then telling us it's our fault. That's why we having a convening, so that we can change our framing, so that we can stop looking at ourselves as the problem, stop believing the lies that we are being told about ourselves. And
even when the people telling you that look like you, that's a hard job for us too, because I'm almost certain that we are going to bring that up in the convening. We are, and I apologize for cutting you off, but when you said that, I really, like, we need the symbolism of first and all of that stuff. We need to get away from that. Like, dig into it. We had enough examples of people who look like us who are not doing things that are beneficial to us in a real way. They're not empowering their people when they know what is going on. Y'all know. We gonna talk about it.
We're not gonna name no names.
I mean, the policies of Sherelle Parker are not consistent with how I think healing should go in the Black community. Was that nice enough?
Thank you.
Yes.
That was nice enough? Yes. Did they get it though?
They got it.
They got it? All right. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? But we have to really talk about that, because that's when you name who is the state. You know what I'm saying? All white men and their white wives. They're feminist white wives. So if you are offended by that, then you're one of them. You know, I got upset about something on I was on shout out to Men's Coffee Talk, Kevin Brown, my brother Jamie, all the brothers, Lamont, I ain't gonna lie, when I first used to be on the Men's Coffee Talk, Lamont used to irritate me a little bit. But then once I was around him, he still irritates me. It's like, no, I'm just playing. Lamont is very passionate, and I love people like that, on some real. We may disagree on our tactics, our strategies, and all that, but at the core, he wants something good for our people. And he's passionate about that. To the point where if you're not as passionate, he may get he may annoy you. Matter of fact, he will. Even if you are passionate, he will annoy you, but I know where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Men's Coffee Talk, all that good stuff there. My whole thing that I need for us to understand is that symbolism is killing us as well, because it rocks our people to sleep. So when we see Black folk in certain positions, we'll tend to pull back, because we'll be like, damn, they there, it's good. You know, we don't want to give them too much of a struggle. They already went through so much and this, that, and the third. But this is the thing. They knew that too. They knew it too. So period, point blank. I know y'all like, I don't know nobody now. Yeah, because y'all rugged individuals. What these Europeans turned you into. It's not your way.
Queen Bad Breeze, make sure you register for this Saturday's event. Please. It is in the link is in the chat. So make sure you register.
Please.
And she said, believe what you're saying.
No doubt. But I don't want to get too far off, but my thing, more than anything, is symbolism. And we need to recognize it and not fall victim to it. It is important. It is. It's something that Africans have been using for a variety of things, to influence a variety of things for a long time. But you got to understand what it is. It's symbolism. It's to motivate in a certain way, but it's not factual. It's a symbol. It's not factual. So when we see these politicians who look like us dig deeper into their policies because they owe us. Because they keep talking about how they're black. So if you keep telling me how you black, you're talking about it in a larger context. You're talking to me and you're talking about you representing us, me, black people. So every space you in with your power, you need to be making sure we're all good in a very serious way. So that's something I think we're going to talk about at the convening.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about it all summer.
My bad.
No, but for real, like, because even when we talk about like symbolism or whatever, like a symbol of what? Because just because you black, they're saying, right, all skin folk and kinfolk. Like,
right.
Just because we share a skin tone does not mean that you out here actually moving in a way that's in the best interest of our people. And so we got to do a better job because like people really be voting for people just because they look a certain way. But then that person gets in and you wondering why now we finna get $100 fine for tinted windows. It's nonsense. Yeah. Which like I think right now, since you name names, when we think about a lot of these policies, it for me feels like a war on blackness. Like we impounding ATVs, which is for me a cultural staple of Black Philadelphia. Yeah. But we criminalizing young people, black people, for doing things that are actually just meant to have a good time, and the real issues don't ever get dealt with. Like we're not dealing with gun violence by locking people up and taking their ATVs or finding people for tinted windows. And if we get into the masks, oh my God.
Yeah. Because who are wearing these masks?
Criminalization of young people.
Who are wearing these masks? Like, it's just when people were trying to make policy around pants hanging off your ass. Nobody likes that. It was a showing that was not something that you would be like, how could you defend that? But how could you criminalize it?
That part.
Defending it is just me having a point about it and saying, you can agree, you cannot agree. It could be decent, it can be vulgar, it could not be, it could just be fashion. But that's where it lies. Once you start telling me I can grab you and accost you because your pants are hanging down a little bit, that for me, that gets a little far. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're doing with these masks. And they've done it with so many other things, with hoodies, with white tees, with Timberlands, and you know what I mean? And it's like, but it made everything safer. But look how you criminalizing a whole group of people, and it goes beyond. Because there's people sitting in jail because he had Timbs on. They had a white tee on, and we criminalized it. Because that was a reason for him to be, that was probable cause for real. Well, he had a baggy t-shirt on and some Timbs, and we grabbed him. We had to. Stop it, y'all. But I'm aligned very much with what you're saying about prisons, because I spent some time in the prison, and that shit ain't help nobody. And it ain't make my community safer. And again, I said it earlier, I am an expert. I spent 20 years there. I spent 20 years there. And I seen what my community looked like before I left. And I seen what it looked like when I came back. And it wasn't that different. Actually, it was worse. It looks a little shinier, but in here, where it really matters, it's a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? So,
and who got access to their shop?
Yeah, prisons ain't. I don't show it to me. Oh, I know what community prisons help. That Johnstown community that get all that extra funding for having all them black bodies locked up in them buildings.
Wait, bro.
Yeah. Prisons help their community. It helped them build some hotels, some motels, got them a new Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, for all y'all that don't be paying attention, and I love to tell y'all when y'all not paying attention, it got them 2 state reps representing their county in Harrisburg. Yes, it is, because it gets you redistrict. Having those extra people on your census can get you redistrict. Redistricting can get you an additional state representative. See, that's how deep they get to playing with black bodies, This is what the bucks go for, I know y'all don't like when I talk like that, but y'all treat us like that every day, so why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't we have a convening talking
you?
about that? About how overly policing people don't work. Overly monitoring people doesn't work. I did the time. You gonna make me pay for being a custody level 1? Man. This is the stuff that they act like they don't know what's going on when they telling you all these, policies about this and policies about that. Like, there's a bunch of us. There's a bunch of returning citizens that can tell you. But some of them, they start to, because now the nonprofit space is what it is in Philadelphia. You even get in some brothers and sisters who are coming home and are grateful to be in these spaces and are being given rhetoric to move on. And they are being made to be comfortable. So it don't stop, but they'll tell you the story how it don't work. It ain't making us safer. Where? I'm trying to figure it out. So Sherelle Parker's policies are not something that we align with. That's going to be talked about.
Facts.
Incarceration doesn't make your community safer.
Facts.
That's going to be talked about. Overly policing. That doesn't solve any problems. Cops will tell. This is the funny thing. Cops will tell you our job is not to solve problems. Cops.
Their job is to make arrests.
Right. We're here to protect the state. Now, they don't use those words, but that's really what they tell you when they tell you, we come after the fact, which I tell people all the time. Yeah, they come after the fact. So they're not even here to do the thing that they making you believe until you talk to them personally, because when you hear the overarching thing about what a cop is culturally, when you disseminating cop stuff through the community, it gives you the impression that they are here to solve, protect, so forth and so on, create in certain spaces. But when you talk to cops, they tell you that's none of our stuff. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. So I'm like, policing doesn't make us safer, because his job is not even to make us safer. That's not his job. Think about it. If you're coming after the fact, after things happen, how is your job to make anything safe if you're always coming after it happened?
So I want to interject, and
I'm listening.
Loosely quote you, but I feel like the whole point of the convening and the events that will follow is to stroke that critical thought within community, because the thing that we're laying out makes perfect sense if you think about it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if you don't call the cops unless something happens, which means safety has already been, jeopardized. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the point is to have people actually thinking about what are the things that will make us safe. Like, that's prevention. Cops aren't prevention. That's not their job to prevent crime. Their job is to arrest crime. Prison is not a prevention point. It's a punishment place. So if we want to live in safe communities, we need to think about what are the things that make communities safer. And so, again, that's resources. That's, we living in gentrified communities. Why are they gentrified? Like, why can certain people come in and, now we get all the shiny new things. Right. But still, the people who live in certain concentrations, the schools are still going to hell. The curriculums are still terrible. Libraries, if they exist in your communities, aren't resourced the way that they need to be, right? Like, the things that are there to actually prevent people from entering into these systems. Even like when I just mentioned school, we are at a space where children are encountering the carceral system within the schools that they go to, right? Like, so they being expelled, they being suspended, they're dealing with police inside of those institutions, and this is where the problem lies. So we need to start thinking like amongst ourselves and stop allowing other people who benefit from our terrible narrative to present the narrative to us. Mm-hmm. We need to start speaking for ourselves, understanding and assessing what the issues are in our spaces, and then being very adamant about advocating against somebody just pushing bullshit down our throats.
So what time is this happening on Saturday?
It is 4:45.
Okay.
12 to 4.
12 to 4, Saturday, May 18th. Where? Location? Holy Apostle, correct? 51st and Spruce. Holy Apostle 51st and Spruce. Make sure you register. Look on, what's your Instagram?
As long Restorative Fire Beauty SIM, or you can look on Swore Abolition. That's straight ahead. Or AL Center
at PSA_community. You can go check it out. You can look at the show again. You can send it to some people. They can call you and remind you. Are you going to that thing on May 18th? I sent you the link. I'm going. That's what y'all should be saying. This is going to be very dope. This is going to be very robust. Another one of the words that I've liked using in like the last month or whatever, you know. Yeah. I like to, flex the vocabulary just a little bit, But anyway, May 18th, 12 to 4, 51st and Spruce, Holy Apostle, Justice for Who? Register. Look on our links, our Instagrams, all that good stuff. We'll be passing out flyers. Be there Saturday, 12 to 4. It's going to be dope. Panel, circle, intergenerational.
We feeding people, and we also
definitely feeding people. We
also going to have healing, alternative healing, sound therapy, art therapy, meditation and mindfulness, and yoga. So.
We need to have a show about spirituality too. Like seriously, like a couple shows actually, a series. But we have to get out of here. I have basketball. You know what I'm saying? I'm something like a coach a little bit. But listen, tell them who you are.
I'm Ricky.
Ricky. It's Ricky, y'all.
Nothing.
Yo, PSA, Philly Service Announcement, Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support, Great Social Activism, Resources, and Art. That's what we doing out here. We out. May 18th, Saturday, 12 to 4. Come through. The Cavini. 51st and Spruce. Holy Apostle. Probably not. Because I got a piece of ish phone. It's not good.